Steve Reno Alfaroni, the internet's most blatant intro ripoff year.
So it's been about 4 years since I said I was going to return to this band's discography to finish it off and then pick up another band's discography and work on it, and that is just an embarrassingly long amount of time to return to anything after a hiatus without coming back in an awkward fashion. So let's get that awkwardness out of the way like the first time anyone in the audience had sex. Wow, hi, we're back now. Today we're going to be taking a look at what I like to call the Guillaume trilogy, which is not a threesome of bad giallo movies from the 70s. It's the last 3 records in the Mnemic discography that featured vocalist Guillaume Bidio, even though I'm pretty sure I butchered the ever-living shit out of his name right there, because according to you wonderful people in the audience, I butchered the ever-living shit out of the entirety of the band's name pronunciation in my previous 2 reviews of their albums, Mechanical Spin Phenomena and Audio Injected Soul, so I guess we're on a roll for I can't say European names. These records include Passenger, Sons of the System, and Mnemisis. We're going to start with Mnemisis because, to quote the Melon here, it's not good. It has the potential to be great, and it's really unfortunate that it has the potential to be great, even though it's a little weird to say. The production quality on this record is absolutely fucking pristine. It sounds great. The highs are great and processed. They don't ring in your ears. They don't have that, like, shh you get when you try to have a little bit too much treble in your mix. They're just the right amount of fizz. The low end is not muddy. It's really just a balanced, well-produced mix. The problem here is the songs, musically, don't make any fucking sense to me. The best way to describe what I'm talking about here is just take a look in the description box below, pause the video, do so. The song is I've Been You. You have this really neat intro that builds up, builds up, builds up, and then boom. To me, it falls apart immediately once that riff kicks in after the good riff. And you'll know exactly what I mean when it does. I like gent music that goes in and out of odd time signatures, but the thing that makes that work a lot of the time is that you put it together correctly. If you're not putting the puzzle pieces together correctly for that, the entire bottom of the song will fall out, and it's just, okay, this sounds like a bunch of just really weird riffs with a few not really weird riffs, and that's it. And the majority, the overwhelming majority of this record sounds this way, and that's such a fucking bummer, because there's just so much potential here. My 2 favorite tracks from the record are There's No Tomorrow and Blue Desert and a Black Hole. Those 2, to me, sound like what this record should have been going for. Not just a collection of random genty riffs with then normal patterned choruses and maybe a couple of normal patterned verses and awkward bridges here and there. Again, it's not the production, it's not the musicality on the record, it's just, it doesn't feel like it was just put together. Like you have a jigsaw puzzle and you're putting the pieces together in whatever configuration you personally think looks good, not what actually works. That's what it feels like. And I guess we're going to go backwards into the discography for some reason, because I happen to have a copy of it right here in my hands. This is Sons of the System, assuming it's not glaring into your eyes like the fucking brightness of the sun. This record is much better put together in those regards. The puzzle pieces here fit. Not a Tool joke, but take one if you want to. It's much better. Out of the 3, it's my favorite. I think it's the best out of the 3 in this trilogy. The first track, Sons of the System, just grabs you by the throat, pushes your head up against a fucking barroom wall and says, fuck you, metal, and just punches you right in the goddamn face all throughout. The vocals on it, kick ass, screams are soaring all the way out through the atmosphere. The next track that follows it, Diesel Uterus, because edgy, is just as good. The riff on it, very Fear Factory-esque. A lot of this record actually reminds me a lot of Fear Factory, a little bit of early Machine Head in there as well. It's just really fucking an improvement in every way over what followed it. And I mean, to me, that's just the weirdest thing. When you have a record that follows a really good record, but it just, bleh, it's like you set the bar for yourself so high that it was just hard for you to get over. And that seems to be a trend for a lot of bands. I mean, it does happen. Every band's going to have its low point. But to me, it was just such a bizarre drop-off. Sons of the System kicks ass. You might even remember a bonus track that's on it being used as my intro for years. I'll link that in the description box below. It's just a solid fucking record. If you like early Machine Head, if you like Fear Factory, if you like just a lot of that kind of groove metal with a lot of industrial influence, a lot of keyboards and such in general, you're going to love this record. March of the Tripods is a really fucking cool sounding song. I love the way the outro to that shit just plays out. It's fucking kick-ass. And then the record before this, the start of the trilogy, we have Passenger, which was Nemec's introduction of their new vocalist. The best way I can describe this record is... get used to hearing that. Because it's all over this record. Why? Why? Why do you go all the time? There's no reason for it. It's so distracting. There are a lot of good songs on this record. A lot of good songs on this record. We have the obligatory intro track, which is pretty cool. It's just pure rage and intensity. It's almost like Strapping Young Lad levels of intensity. And then you get to the actual first track, which I fucking totally love. And God, it just distracts the shit out of me. You have this great chorus. I love the chorus to this song. It's just, you have these nice triplets that go over a really even, groovy riff. I fucking absolutely love how the drums and the guitar are working in sync together here. But then you have... and it just pulls you out of it. It pulls you out of it a lot. This record is also guilty of random riffs that... I guess if you just allow them to work, they work. It's not as bad as Mnemisis was for me, but my God, they're present here all over the place. And it's so strange to me again. They're present on the first record and they're present on the last record. They weren't really so much present on The Middle Child. Sons of the System really didn't have this fucking problem. I wonder if that's one of the main reasons why on Mnemisis, the crew members of the band were in complete, like, different people. The only remaining original member was their guitar player, Mercia, by that point. And I'm starting to wonder if these kind of weird creative decisions had something to do with that. As far as I understand, the guy doesn't even really work in music, making music anymore. I think he works more in a business aspect of the music industry. And I mean, it's a goddamn shame because I loved the way that this guy put guitar together on these records. He's a great guitar player. He had a lot of great musical ideas, but it's like creative decisions that just seem randomly put together like this. I understand how frustrating that shit can be. It really can fuck up bands. I've seen it fuck up bands before countless times, and this just seems to be another one of those times. I really do not want people, though, to get the impression that I'm just mindlessly shitting all over these records and saying they're not worth your time and they're not worth your listen. They definitely are, but it's like they've got more flaws than they needed to have. Sons of the System, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give Mnemisis a 4 out of 10. And then I'm going to give Passenger a 6 out of 10. These had a lot of potential, and there's a lot of good shit to be found here, but it's just sparsed in between a lot of nonsensical ideas, and I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, if you'd enjoy this more often, well, good, because I'm going to be doing these more often. I'm going to be doing the next one this coming week, which is going to kick off the start of the Devin Townsend discography series, which means we're going to be here for a while because Dev just likes to fucking shit records out one after the other, after the other, after the other, which is great because they're, for the most part, all fucking excellent. And for those of you not familiar with Devin Townsend's discography, well, you're going to get familiar with it.